You're welcome back to the program. There's a saying that you cannot beat a child and ask the child not to cry. Well, most Nigerians are outraged by the criminalization of ransom payments when the government have not really done so much to end this menace of abduction, incident abductions and kidnappings. And then the National Assembly on the 27th day of April 2022 actually passed a bill to amend Terrorism Prevention Act 2013, which among other things outlaws payment of ransom to kidnappers. That is, we are talking about paying to these kidnappers to actually save a loved ones that is in their den. Well, today we'll be looking at that topic, kidnapping, the ransom payment prohibition bill. And we also have a guest in the studio who will be explaining to us what this thing entails and if it's the better option of the other options we have to end this banditry and kidnapping menace in our country. We have with us this morning Sir Mike Opia. He is the State Coordinator, Coalition on Transparency, Accountability and Good Governance, COTAG. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. You're welcome, viewer.
All right, let's start with what you make out of the statement, do not pay ransom to kidnappers.
Thank you very much. You know, at times I wonder how our leaders reason and think. Here is my relation in captivity. Here is government who couldn't rescue him. And the kidnapper say, okay, pay me some amount and we'll get your relation. Government say, don't pay. Government cannot rescue him. In other words, die in captivity. That's just how to summarize what the bill is intended to do. And I begin to wonder why this type of bill. I was thinking that the Senate could have come out with a bill that every reported kidnapped case in Nigeria should be rescued by the security agency within 24 hours. That could have been the amended bill, okay? And then we're beginning to see seriousness in the part of our government. But they say no. Government cannot provide security. Citizens could be kidnapped at will, kept in captivity as long as they wish, or even killed. You, the relation that has the means to meet the demand of the kidnappers, they say, don't do it. If you do it, we sentence you to 15 years imprisonment. Mm-hmm. What a ludicrous bill. And I think it is in the interest of the public to come up and protest against this bill because it does not make any sense. Rather, it is increasing the suffering, the dilemma Nigerian citizens have been subjected to by terrorism.
Well, does it mean that, because I know that before a bill goes to, there are processes before a bill we get into law in Nigeria. Now we have where you have public hearing, where the people will come and say their mind concerning the particular bill that has been actually presented in the House. Does it mean that this particular bill, because you're talking about people saying or coming out to say that they are not in support of this particular bill, does it mean that it?
I don't think there was public hearing. You know, it is amendment to an existing bill.
Bill, yes.
Okay. I think they just came up. Well, somebody just came up, and after the train kidnap issue.
That's the Abuja Kaduna.
In Abuja Kaduna issue, somebody just came up maybe after those in the red chamber and said we will do this, and they did not think through it and see the implication of what they want to do, and they come up with the bill. And I'm also calling on House of Rep not to concur to this bill, because I know they are closer to us, they are closer to the people. They shouldn't concur to this, because I'm just, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just looking at this from the perspective of the public interest and human rights, okay? Where I know I can say something. So that is the perspective I'm coming. So this bill is not in the interest of the public. It's not even in the interest of the government, because they are legislating more failures, because the bill cannot be implemented. This law cannot be implemented. They can't. So they are just increasing their spheres of failures. So they shouldn't do that. So the level of human right is, you are legislating people's subjugation to inhumanity, deprivation from family life. Okay? And so I don't know, there's no aspect I will look at this bill and say, well, let's give it a try.
Well, the passage of this bill actually was followed by a consideration of a report by the Committee of Judiciary on Human Rights, headed by Senator Ukpeyimi Bummy Daily. And one of the reasons they cited is that this actually is to block the flow or the source of funds that are being made available to these bandits.
Yes. You see, that is an argument, because one of the things that sustain this kidnapping, in fact, one of the reasons for this kidnapping episode is financial. Okay, they want to make money to sustain themselves in the bush or whatever. Okay, and so the best way to do is to carry the citizens and demand for payment. Now, that is a reason that you can give a thought to. But how can we implement it? One, why don't governments seek for a way and address the root of this problem? This is very cosmetic. It's like you are rubbing Vaseline on the joint of arthritis. It cannot solve the problem, it cannot heal the pain. So the reason, okay, but the root of it is to stop the kidnappers, the root cause of the kidnapping episode, which all of us know: poverty, unemployment, government failure to secure the citizens. Okay, so these are the reasons. So why don't they legislate against that before talking about stopping citizens from finding a way to rescue their relations that are in captivity, when government has failed to do that? No, it's like beating a child and say, don't cry, like you said in the beginning. And it doesn't make any sense.
All right. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. What's your name? Okay, you need to change your location and call us back, and please, when you're calling us, reduce the volume of your television set so that when you are talking, we'll be hearing you very well. Remember that the numbers for you to call is displayed on the screen. That is, if you want to contribute to the topic that we are discussing this morning, that is kidnapping, the ransom payment prohibition bill. All right, let's look at what I think we need to talk about. What we would rather have the government do at this point in time, because we know that this kidnapping issue that is rising by the day, and people are no longer happy about this whole situation in the country, especially Nigerians. So what would we rather want the government to do to end this? But before you answer that, let's know who is here. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us your name and your location. Tell us your name and your location.
Okay. I am calling from Adamawa. Hello? Hello?
Go ahead. We are listening. Your name.
But I'm not hearing it here.
I said tell us your name.
My name is Daniel. I'm calling from Adamawa.
All right, go ahead.
I said tell us your name. My name is Daniel. I'm calling from Adamawa. All right, go ahead. What I noticed is this. The people that are saying this is because their children are not in Nigeria. If their children is in Nigeria and the one of them or their wife is now, you will know whether they are going to pay or not. Because their parents are not in Nigeria, they can talk anything that they want. They cannot provide the security, and they ask us to not pay, so that my children or my wife will be safe. I've not my idea.
All right, thank you so much for that submission. He's saying that probably they are talking because they don't have their children and their loved ones in the country, so they've not been kidnapped. That's why they actually had the nerves to pass this kind of bill.
And I think it is true. They are not involved. I just want to see a situation whereby a child or a wife of one of the senators is kidnapped, and they will say, oh, and the kidnapper says, pay us 5 million naira and get your election, and they won't pay. They will rush to pay it. So it is very pretentious that this law, and I think it will be jettisoned. But coming to the question you asked, the main objective of every government is to protect the life of the citizens. So any government that fails to do that is a failure. Now, what we want government to do is very simple. Number one, be serious and sincere in this issue of terrorism. They are not serious, they are not sincere. Number two, equip the security agencies and give them much order, like I said in the beginning. Let the amendment of this law include that every known reported kidnap cases should be rescued within 24 hours. Okay, look at the drama going on the those kidnapped during the train for more than going to 2 months now. 47 days. The kidnappers are there showing us the films, showing us the woman that give birth on their captivity, and government is massaging the whole situation. Okay, so and the area from Abuja to Kaduna is a savanna ground. It has no thick forest that government cannot penetrate. So government can stay in Abuja and locate where these people are and map out their intelligence and rescue these victims. But they wouldn't do it. What they are doing is that I shouldn't seek my own personal help to get my person out. No, it's not what do we call
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Your name and your location.
Hello.
Tell us your name and your location.
Hello.
Okay, please, if you want to call us, just reduce the volume on your radio set, and probably the last person that called, you need to change your location and call us. I think this is a challenge with our network this morning. Okay, let's know who's here. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Tell us your name and your location.
Hello, good morning. Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Tell us your name and your location.
My name is Luis. I'm calling all the way from New York.
From New York.
My name is Luis. I'm calling all the way.
Please, if you want to call us, let's be hearing ourselves. Reduce the volume on your radio set and then call us with your phone. We can hear you as you're making your submission this morning. Okay, let's know who's here. Let's try again. Good morning.
Okay,
Good morning. All right, so let's continue with our discussion this morning. Seems the network is actually not really friendly this morning. Okay, I'm just still talking about the rule. Yes.
protecting the citizens. Okay, I've talked about the first thing they will do is to, first of all, to be sincere.
Sincere. Yeah.
Okay, now equip the military, the security agents. Nigerian military, perform very well when they are outside the shore of Nigeria. They always give example of them. But when they come to Nigeria, for how many years, few ragtag militants are keeping us. In fact, all Nigerians are victim of kidnap. Okay, so because you cannot move, someone was saying that you cannot move 50 kilometers radius of Abuja without going with the security. Okay, so all of us are kidnapped. Those, even the power that be, are kidnapped within Abuja and metropolis. Okay, so What is government doing? It's a very simple way of, if they are sincere, get the military equipped, beef up their intelligence gathering, and then put the security agency in much order. Any kidnapped exercise should be dealt with immediately. And if they do that, the kidnappers will now know that there's no way out. I don't want to say not to pay. After all, this act has been on since 2013. Has it stopped kidnapped or terrorism? In fact, it has increased terrorism because we are massaging the whole situation. So if government really want to stop kidnapping, it's not employing ransom payment. It is increasing the efficiency of the military and then giving the military much order to deal with any reported incidents. I watched the film of the 90 Minutes at Entebbe, how the Israelis rescued their citizens in Uganda. Why can't they try something close to that? Look at Kaduna to Abuja, a savannah land. The citizens are kept there for 47 days, and government are telling stories. You see, at times you study the situation and strike. You may lose one or two people of your people, but rescue others. Okay, it's the best approach than coming up with a law that cannot be implemented, a law that even increase the scope of government failure. Because we now keep on counting this on them. Because if something happened to you here in Anambra State and you pay ransom and get your person out and government does not even know, it is on record. And if your person is in captivity and you refuse to pay ransom, they'll be killed. And that will be added to the number of Nigerians that have lost their life in captivity while government is asleep. So who is failing? So you can't legislate something that is against your success, your progress.
And to also think that they said that anyone that is found doing that will be jailed for 15 years.
For 15 years. Double jeopardy. In fact, and the bill is even contradictory. I said I'm not a lawyer, but I have sense, I reason. They say it is to guide against those who collude with the kidnappers. What's the meaning of collusion? My person is kidnapped and I pay money to bring him out. Am I colluding with the kidnapper? So I think it is misguided. The Senate has to rethink. And like I said before, the House of Representatives will not confirm this law. They shouldn't. Because it will be a failure in the National Assembly if they do it. They didn't think through it. Even a layman as I am, who can reason, will know that this law is a failure on arrival. So why can't you do something that will jeopardize even your interest as a legislator, your interest as a government? And I also pray that the President Buhari do not sign this bill into law, because it is signing and increasing the scope of government failure. And that is what my understanding about it.
Okay, let's also hear what people outside have to say about what we are discussing right here in the studio this morning.
Somebody is being held and is trying to find a way out, and government is not trying to do anything about it, and the person bails himself out. And you are punishing the person. It's some sort of justice, standing justice on his end. To me, it's all like asking somebody, if you are under threat of dying, then they are telling you not to do anything in order to save yourself. It will not help us. Let them fashion out a way to rescue kidnapped victims or to stop kidnapping altogether.
N'obi m anamata m ya onwe onye gawe jide nwanne ọ na-atụ egwu because ka hapụ ijere ya ọkwa m gaga wepụta nwanne m ha jeruo m ka m gawazie. I like him iwu ahụ, I like him ya.
Kidnapping is not a good business, isn't it? So, but if somebody is in danger, you must surely find a way to get that person out of it. If the government know what they got to do, great job, so that those kidnappers will be busy. You understand? If they got something doing, I don't think anybody would like to be carrying guns to go kill somebody or something. Understand?
Look at what happened in Kaduna attack, and up to now they have not rescued. And you see somebody that their loved ones, their works have been kidnapped, and they should wait. And when the government that you know that is incapacitated, they are not proactive.
You're welcome back to the show. We've actually listened to the interviews of what people have to say about this particular bill. And then one woman said something. It was funny, but then that's the truth. She said that she would rather go to jail after paying for the loved one to be freed by the kidnapper. She would voluntarily want to even go to jail because of that.
And you said it in Igbo language. Yes. It was so funny.
Yes.
You see, let's assume it is my wife that was kidnapped and give birth on the den of robbers, and I have means to bring her and the child out, and you say I shouldn't. He said, I will bring her out to my person. Jail me, I'll go to jail. Simple. Okay? So it's as spurious as that. There's no way I will have the means to rescue. This is have even to do with self-interest, which is number one interest in life. You cannot legislate that out. It's like having a blick of fire on my body. You say, don't touch it because there's law against it. I can't bear it. So these are the people on the street are coming out with the reason why government shouldn't go on with this law. And if they close their ears as usual and go about it, it is now is the recorded failure on their part, because nobody will adhere to this law. It's obvious. So it is important that they listen to the voice of the people and die this bill at this level. And it is on the interest of the National House of Rep not to concur to this bill, so that it will die a natural death.
Okay, one of the respondents also made a statement saying that the government should create employment. He believes that one of the reasons why some people engage in this kind of negative act is because they don't have anything doing that's about kidnappers. So that if government should create more employment, that youth or people involved will be meaningfully engaged. Yes. Do you also believe that that can? In fact,
one of the main reasons for these crimes, terrorism, banditry, or whatever you call it, is joblessness. The youths are jobless, and these are youthful age that always want something to do. And not only they are jobless, they see the Commonwealth being thrown about by few. Okay, I see, and. And what comes into their mind to see how they will level the situation by kidnapping. And if you give these kidnappers free access, they will go for those who have the money. Yes, those who have made the money or stolen Nigerian money, they go for them and kidnap them and they will get money. It's like a retribution.
But they can't even penetrate.
They can't penetrate. So they are kidnapping those who can give them small money. So joblessness is part of it. Poverty is part of it. Uncommon sharing of Commonwealth is also part of it. Look at how many 47 people that paid 100 million to buy nomination form for one party. Not to talk of the other one. I think PDP is 17. So you see this. You see people throwing money around. The money that belongs to you and them, and nothing. So the first thing is to devise a way to get that money from them. And if you can't get it directly from them, get it. In fact, I think the legislation should be that any kidnapped cases, ransom should be paid by government. I think that should be the bill. That anybody that's kidnapped and the kidnappers demand money, government should pay from national coffer. I think that should be the bill. I think that we should promote that side of the bill. That should be the best thing. So that government will now have a way of redistributing the money, the wealth of the people to those that are kidnapped. Okay. So, and apart from unemployment, poverty, one of the main reasons why kidnapping is thriving in Nigeria is government insensitivity to the whole episode. Government insincerity to the whole episode. Because if government is sincere, I don't see why these people, this victim of the train attack should be in detention, should be in captivity by now. They shouldn't. Because government knows, if a governor even said a day after they said that government knows where these bandits are. He said it on public television. And government know where they are. And there's no Sambisa forest between Abuja and Kaduna. It is a savannah land.
We are even talking about this this recent one. What about Lee Sharibu and hosts of others that have been kidnapped?
For years.
Not even hearing about
for years. They have turned from, when they talk about Chibok girls, I laugh. Talk about Chibok mothers. They've all been forced to marriage and they are mothers now. So we're let's be talking about people mothers, okay? Because they're now mothers. All the years government has failed to rescue people, and you are thinking if the parents of Shaibu has the money to rescue their daughter, you tell them not to do. They will just do what the woman has said. Bring out my child, let me go to jail. Not be only 15 years. I will go and come back, and in legal term is half of it. So I go and come back and meet my daughter at home, instead of leaving her to suffer the dehumanization in the camp of these animals. So it's unbelievable. It is not. I don't know why government. I don't want to sound because you know Senate is where you sleep, where people retire. Politicians retire there, and if you watch them, there is the sleeping competition. Maybe somebody was sleeping, and out of a dream he had, he come out with this thought, and people, because everybody was sleeping, agree on it. So it is not. It is not in the interest of the public. It is not in the interest of government. Neither is even in the interest of the kidnappers. So no, who are we making this law for? I can't understand. I think you need to get one of the senators to come and maybe the sponsor of that bill come and tell us. I've had Bummy Daily talk. I've had Senate President talk. I don't make sense out of what they said. So it is unfortunate.
Well, still talking about that Bummy Daily, let me said, unquote, what he said, that the passage of the bill will save Nigeria from being included among countries in the Financial Action Task Force, that is FATF grey list, with its attendant negative consequences, which might ultimately result to international sanctions that would affect the image of the country and the Committee of Nations.
Now, ask him, can he implement this law? He's not making law. Your ability to implement any law you make is the essence of making that law. So if you are making law for making sake, it doesn't make any reason. It doesn't make any sense. And in any case, the way to get to what he's saying is to stop kidnapping. If you stop kidnapping, nobody will be asked to pay ransom. Not to start attending to the sign or the symptom of an issue instead of the cause. So it has no sense on what he say, and he's a professor, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder.
Well, some people also said that yes, they did this amendment act of the terrorism bill, that it was actually silent on the side of the kidnappers that collect the ransom. So they just focused on people paying the ransom.
So all it means is that if he kidnaps my relation, and the police catches me when he's taking the money, they may even allow him to go with the money and arrest me and try me. So what's the sense? You are increasing. In fact, from any angle you come for, you approach this law, it makes no sense. Because the bill didn't say what will happen to the kidnapper who demanded the money. It is only me that pay to rescue my person that will be jailed. It's unbelievable. I don't know why they come out of it. But the essence of it is that the public should come against and speak against this thing, so that the bill will die a natural death. Otherwise, we are just ridiculing ourselves as a nation.
Well, I know you've mentioned this so many times, but I just want to ask you as a question now. Well, it's one thing to actually make a law, and it's another thing to enforce it. Now, looking at this whole bill, looking at all what is contained in this particular amendment bill, do you think that this law can be enforced in Nigeria?
It is obvious that it cannot be enforced. Okay. Now, what my concern is not that it cannot be enforced. My concern is that it is a law you know that cannot be enforced, and you are doing it. And like I said before, the Anti-Terrorism Act was promulgated in 2013. Okay. By that time, kidnapping and terrorism was not as obvious as it is now. Now, but it has escalated over the years, despite the law. Okay. And government has failed to implement the whole gamut of that anti-terrorism law to 2013. Now they are coming up with another superior aspect of it. So does it make any sense? Like I said, what I was thinking, that the government will come up with a law that any reported case of kidnap in any part of Nigeria must be attended to within 24 hours and rescue the victims. That we will be clapping for them for now. But they're making this law, for me, a double jeopardy law, my person kidnapped, don't pay, If you pay, we arrest you and detain you. The kidnapper goes free because there's no mention of the kidnapper. So I'll go into kidnapping then.
Well, I know in more developed climes that this kind of thing, when people are kidnapped, that the security agents have a way of tracking those people and see how they can actually rescue those people that are kidnapped. Now, in Nigeria now, yeah, I know that we are still a developing nation in Nigeria now. Do you think that we've grown to that level where we have the technological know-how of how to track some of these kidnappers and know how we can actually stop this particular menace?
Nigeria has overgrown to develop the intelligence and the equipment to do that if they want to be sincere and serious. Why did the governor say that they know where kidnappers are, the den of kidnappers, and they're not doing anything? How did they know where they are? But how do you know, how do you trace a kidnapper in the modern technology? Simple drones can do that. Simple aerial surveillance can do that, especially in savannah areas like Kaduna, Abuja Road, can do that. So why didn't they try? What they're now trying is you load a train and then you load a helicopter to follow a train from Kaduna to Abuja. You know, I wonder how we reason at the government level. Okay, so these are the issues. Nigeria has overgrown. Nigeria has the power. Nigeria has the wherewithal. Nigeria has the means. Nigeria has the military to do this. The only thing that is lacking is sincerity. There's a lot of pretense in the issue of terrorism and kidnapping in Nigeria. And that is where the problem lies. Not the ability of the military to do this. Not the ability of Nigeria as a nation state to do this. They have all it takes, but they lack the political will. They lack the moral will. They are kidnapped by religious consideration. Let me put it that way.
Okay, now, just as we are trying to round up the show, what would you advise the people, Nigerians, to do, especially concerning this bill, and also the government, or how best to tackle this issue at hand?
On the part of the public, where my number one interest lies, be your own security agent. Be careful, don't take things. I was discussing with a friend that was invited for marriage, traditional marriage. I was in one part of the state. And I said, don't go that wedding. My chairman in Asia, I will call his name Professor Ileti, he said, in these days, be careful where you go in all these ceremonies. What they want is your envelope, not you. So let them go and come back, give them envelope. And that was, I've taken that counsel. I don't travel anyhow in Nigeria now. That's the part of the public. Be careful, because you are on your own if anything happens. Nigeria has no, government has no your interest in protecting you. So be careful where you go. Number two, government should come up and be sincere. Nigerian government has the power, has the wherewithal to address and kill these kidnappers. One-time president, head of state, General Abacha said, if any terrorism or whatever lasts more than 48 hours, trace it, there's government hands there. He made that statement. It is in my record. It's true. Okay, in the part of kidnappers, I think enough is enough, because the citizens will even come against you. I think it is high time the citizens will come against the kidnappers, and let's see how strength.
And the truth is that some people know who these kidnappers are.
They live, most of them live in towns, communities, and cities before they go for their dubious act. You know them, you won't say what you saw and leave the rest for government to do. So it is a full, complete responsibility for everybody, but my interest is that you, as a citizen of Nigeria, be careful. I told my clients, even from here to Abuja, if you cannot provide a flight, don't expect me to travel from road from here to Abuja. I like my life, as poor as I am. I cherish it. I don't want to give it as a bit. I was discussing with a driver that was kidnapped, one of these Sienna drivers that was kidnapped in local jail side in November last year. He said, I saw him, because I know him, I saw his ears swollen, and they've disfigured his face by constant slapping and everything. For 2 weeks, he was in their den. What saved him was that one of the kidnapped guy was a son of one of the Royal Highness in Imo State, who provided 10 million naira to rescue them. Okay? So he said they will first of all dehumanize you as a man. If you're a man, they will pseudonymize you. They will do all sorts of things on you, and in fact, it's not good to be even said in the public. What is important is you as a citizen, take care of yourself. Don't be careless because you have nobody to protect you. We're all on our own to attend to Israel.
Well, do you also think, just before we go, do you also think that the traditional rulers and community leaders have a role to play? Because some of these forests, some of these bushes where they take their victims to are inside some
Belongs
of
to.
Yes.
If I go there now to clear land, I'll see the owner. This is our land. But kidnappers are here, even in Anambra state here. Kidnappers are there, these evil men are there, burying their guns in our land. And we know that they are there, and we don't do anything. The traditional rulers. I think there's even a legislation that any traditional ruler that a kidnap case happen in his land should also be kidnapped or sent to jail. I think that's part of the things government should be thinking. Every traditional ruler, the custodians of the land and everything, should once in a while comb your forest, find out whether there's any foreign elements there, dubious human beings, and then start dealing with them from that perspective. Landlords are there. Somebody was telling me a story of what's happened even in Inquiry here. He went to his father's land after some time, father's house, after some time. He saw 10, 15 people, young men, doing nothing, renting and living in a room. And he asked, what are these people doing? Who are they? And it's an uncle that is taking rent and living. What are these people? They say he doesn't know what they are doing. What's their occupation? He doesn't know. And you keep them in the house. So these are the issues you have to look inwards and address. You see? So these are the part of the issues.
All right, on that note, we want to say a very big thank you to you, Sir Mike Opia, the State Coordinator, Coalition on Transparency, Accountability and Good Governance. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Please, Nigerians, take care of yourselves.
Yes, and we're also advising the government to actually make kidnapping unattractive for these kidnappers and not making paying ransom unattractive for our loved ones. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. My name is Chidimma Oranwa. See you again tomorrow. Bye.